It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
And I don't know how long pizza stays good for when you refrigerate it.
It never goes bad.
No, oh, wow.
I will eat pizza. I don't care if it's been in the fridge for 3 weeks.
So this
and I'm eating it cold, too.
So this is nuclear holocaust proof. All pizza.
Yeah, they're like Twinkies. They never go bad.
And again, that has cheese on it. And you're, okay, and this is good for...
Oh, it's fine.
So if you were in the fridge right now and you realize that somehow over the course of
I'm eating it. Down the hatch. Not warming it up. And I'm going to love it. Even if it's terrible. I'm still going to have a smile on my face.
And Kyle.
Maybe you fly home and are able to hit the last few hours.
Please, of all the times, please, flight be delayed. I have never wanted to be sitting at O'Hare more than I do right now.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Still possibly the only time in history somebody has actively wished to be sitting at O'Hare.
Why did I want to be at O'Hare?
We don't need to rehash it.
I was there.
I don't think it's something you want to revisit. It was a joke in the moment. It was funny, but it has something to, you were looking for a way to not be at maybe day 1 or day 2.
Say no more.
Of the upcoming ballet recital, which is a few months away.
Yeah, coming up quick.
And
oh boy,
we have, you gave me an update that this week on Ballet Gate, Bus Lane Gate.
Yeah.
And I'm still not ready. I'm not going to admit defeat on this. But last week I asked you for a more concrete answer to how many followers had you gained in your new cult.
Yeah.
The Bus Lane cult, the BLC.
Yeah. Parking in the bus lane cult.
Because the 2 videos you had sent me had a collective of 2 vehicles, one of them being you. So last week you said no,
that pic. Oh, you're talking
the prior ones,
gotcha,
prior videos.
Okay, all right.
So last week you'd said no. I assure you, this week when I illegally park in this bus lane,
I mean illegally, it's
gray area.
It's private property, so I mean there are no laws on private property, right? You can do whatever you want.
I'll post a couple of polls related to that.
Okay.
Is parking the bus lane a gray area? Yeah. Are there laws on private property?
Appreciate that.
But you'd said you'd get me a better, a wider image of what you had started. And sure enough, you did. You sent me the video of you pulling in this past week, and I said it looks awful empty again. You took me.
I was there early. Yeah, we got there a few minutes earlier than we normally do. So I took the video as we were pulling into the parking lot.
Yep.
You saw the debatably legal U-turn that I pulled. By the way, I don't know if you could see the sign as I was pulling in.
Yeah,
definitely says "Do not enter." That is a one-way, and not the way that I was going, thoroughfare.
I love because
there's at least 4 laws being broken on a regular basis there.
And my favorite part of this is your steadfast. Like this is it. This is how it's going to go for the duration of Ballet Gate. Mm-hmm. Okay, and
I will say that the driving in the exit.
Yeah,
everyone does it.
Okay,
I am not the only one. Because in order to go in the legal way, it's like 3 blocks in the opposite direction.
Sure.
And I got no time for that.
Your updated photos showed a total of 4 cars, if I remember right, this week.
Yeah,
I believe there was 2 in front of you and 1 behind you.
Yeah.
And then you being the fourth car, but the first one to be there, the first one to okay the other buttholes to park in the bus lane.
Yeah, well, they're all waiting for my guidance.
That's right.
For my leadership.
Yeah, they're waiting for Jim Jones to get the jug out.
Oh, man.
I
wish you could have thought of someone else.
Sorry, okay, fine. They were just waiting for Koresh to tell everyone to go to bed.
Man, that's the Second David Koresh reference in as many episodes on this podcast.
I'm sorry. Okay, I've got, hang on, off the top of my head. They're just waiting for Chucky Manson to tell them what to do that night.
I don't know why, but it's so much worse when you
It is Chucky.
Chucky Manson.
It is. It is. So, 4 cars total, including you, parked in the bus lane, which again, it's on the pole. Is it a gray area?
Yeah.
And if you had to put a bow on this, because I feel like we're not going to change. We're not going to move the needle. You're parking in the bus lane. You've inspired other buttholes to park in the bus lane. And I'm not saying you are.
No.
The other people
right?
are.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a trailblazer, a trendsetter.
We put that in the poll. We should.
Everyone else is just a follower.
That's right. That's right. Everyone else is just sitting in that camp in Jonestown. So, how many though total? And I want to include the 4 vehicles in the bus lane are in that parking lot by the time ballet practice starts at whatever evening time that starts. Mm-hmm. Total number of cars.
Well, there's only room for about 5, and it's usually maxed out.
Okay,
because it's just the way that the parking lot goes. Like you can only fit probably 4 or 5, and then it kind of curves around, and there's just not room for more.
So you're seeing a handful of cars come through, boot their children out the back seat, and rip tires out of there, right?
Yeah, or go and park out again with the peasants,
right,
in the parking lot, whatever that is.
So in total, vehicles who are bringing children to ballet, what would you estimate?
Boy, there's a lot, because when we get there, there's already a class in session, and then there's a class after ours. So there's 3 classes right in a row where when Evelyn's going in, another class is coming out, and then when Evelyn's coming out, another class is going in. So there's, I would bet 30 cars there at any given moment.
So let's take out a handful for just your class. Let's say for just Evelyn's class, is 20 a fair amount?
Sure. Yeah.
So can you be a trendsetter or trailblazer if you are in that'd be the 20% minority? 1 out of 4? Which is 4 out of 20?
I say so. I'm a trendsetter. Thank you. End of discussion.
I appreciate it, because at this point I almost feel like you now need to work your way towards a majority, and that is by maybe having like a
come on everybody,
have like a basket of snacks to encourage cars to pull up behind you in the bus lane.
Okay, all right.
Water's warm, Trailblazer. I mean the Chevy Trailblazer,
right?
Not,
yeah. So now I'm like those people during COVID when they started leaving like baskets of snacks out for the delivery folks.
Yes. Or also, like during COVID, the elderly people who were not able to be seen by relatives, they would put like a thumbs up in their window. Maybe you do that in your car window.
Okay. So I'm basically going up to senior centers and waving in the windows.
Yes. Yeah, you're bringing the group together.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's a weird, unique spin on it, but...
All right. Should Steve hand out snacks to other ballet parents? That's on the poll.
All right.
There's a litany of things that we need to get to today.
So much important stuff. So much. I mean, we got 3D printing to talk about. It's been basically just nonstop over here. That thing buzzing away in the corner.
Yeah, every week the last few weeks I've come in, I've seen a different type of furniture. And not furniture you sit on, like house furniture.
Yeah.
Like
last week 2 weeks ago, the 3D printer was sitting on the floor. Yeah. The week before that, it was down the hall. Last week, it was on a desk that I bought off of Marketplace for $40. That may have been the most wobbly piece of furniture ever. Now, it's very important. Look, I know I'm going to be boring you with this because you're a 3D printsman.
I know the industry.
One thing you need for 3D printing is a steady surface, a sturdy surface.
Yeah.
And
preferably heavy duty type of base.
Yeah, exactly.
To keep it nice and flat.
Because that thing, when you're printing, it's like it's moving all over the place. It's moving very quick. Oof. So I found this the perfect size piece of furniture. I was like, finally. I don't know what it is. Normally I can go onto Marketplace, type something in and be like, oh, perfect. That's exactly what I want. But I had such paralysis by analysis. I had been looking for something for like 3 weeks.
Oh. And that has to take an extra special ding to you as a marketplaceman.
Exactly.
Because that has to hurt.
A shot to the ego, but I finally found something. So last week, dropped Evelyn off at ballet, of course, from the bus lane.
Quicker to get her out.
And there was a guy selling a desk a couple minutes away. I shot over there, picked it up, threw it in the car, came back, illegally parked once again to pick Evelyn up from practice or from her class.
Let's say illegally. At this point, it's polling whether it's a gray area or not.
So yet to be determined. Brought it home, assembled it, just had to put the legs on it and set it up. And I put the 3D printer on it, fired it up, and it almost fell over.
Quick?
It was so wobbly.
Oh, no.
So worth noting, I bought it for $40. So I immediately took it apart, sold it for $45 yesterday, made a $5 profit off of it.
Listen, you bunch of suckers. Right when you think you have the master cornered.
Yeah.
Okay? You think, hey, this guy just bought this thing. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. He's going to be out. He's going to be on his butt. He's going to lose everything he's ever made over this thing. What's he do? He turns around and he slips it into a crisp $5 pure profit.
Yeah. It's like when the Hulkster was about to be pinned and they'd pick up his arm and they'd drop it and it would hit.
He's getting choked out, right?
The mat, pick it up again, drop it, hits the mat.
And we all know what happens if that thing hits the mat 3 times.
3 times, you're done.
The match is over.
They pick it up again. They drop his arm. It falls 75% of the way to the mat. And then you see that fist and then that shaking arm reach up into the sky.
And the crowd chanting like America.
Yeah.
And he's chanting the N-word.
Trying to sell you his crappy beer.
But that was you. You were the whole...
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's backtrack a bit.
So if Macho Man Randy Savage, who I don't think he had anything...
Did he have any...
I think he may have hit his wife.
Oh, boy.
It's all speculative. I don't... So you're Lex Luger. Nope. He got his...
Chris Benoit.
Yeah, great. Good.
Jesus. Did any wrestler ever just
So
live
you're
a
that
good
one
life?
amateur wrestler who didn't he have like one arm and he beat a bunch of records in college? Can you be that guy?
Yeah.
So you're the one-armed wrestler in NCAA.
So yeah, man, I flipped that thing for $5.
And you...
Came back to the house, and then we have this dresser that last summer Annette started kind of restoring it, and it's about half done or so. She still has to do some work to it, but it was sitting down the hallway, and I was like, you know something? That's a sturdy piece of furniture. So I dragged it down the hallway.
Yes.
And it now lives in here temporarily until I find something that fits a little bit better.
And even from the outside looking in, I mean, this thing is as sturdy as you're going to find.
It is.
Okay.
It's very sturdy, plenty of storage. Yeah, we're good to go now.
So you are back on the wagon. I get the notifications when a print is done and started.
Oh, yeah.
And I see you've been just ripping through deadly prints the last 24 hours, making trinkets for the kids, which is, we finally realized what we can do with this thing, which is trinkets for children.
And if there's one thing
that
kids love, it's trinkets.
They'll never get enough of them. They'll use them for, I would guess, max 72 hours. Those will be paid attention to, utilized, and even known where they are. Mm-hmm. And then by Tuesday, I think you'll be, hey, Nikki, is this your Stegosaurus? He's going to run past. He's going to go, Dad, where's the newest trinket? Because now you're on the clock.
Right. Yeah. So in the last 12 hours, I've printed 2 different unicorns, an Easter bunny, and a Stegosaurus.
'Tis the season.
And there is a line out the door of things that I still need to print.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So if you need to get anything done, you better jump in line quick.
Well, maybe
or else our lead time is going to be about 4 days.
Maybe we throw together a trinket plate. Maybe start duplicating those. We got to get another. We should get another shipment out to our buddy Lance. The sponsor, LS Electric. LS Elect. Was it
Ilion, New York?
Ilion, New York. Any electric needs in the. Gosh, when we had the map open, where was that? New York State.
Yes.
And I heard he messaged me last week. He'll travel. Okay.
Really?
Out of state. Lance Storer will come to you.
Okay.
For your electric needs. Light bulb.
Good to know.
He's on the way.
Good to know. So yeah, we got 3D printing going on here. We got, but I saw that you, speaking of marketplace, you had a marketplace question for the master, the the marketplace master.
It's not so much as a question anymore. I have to come to you hat in hand.
Oh no.
And I have to ask you just how to do better. Because not once, but twice, I made what I'm looking at as marketplace errors. No. And it's embarrassing.
Are you the buyer or the seller?
Seller in both of these.
Seller in both of them.
Let me give you a brief rundown here.
Please, my son.
The first one.
Tell me. This is like confession. This is marketplace confession.
It is. This is. And
yeah, no. You bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Oh, bless me, marketplace Father, for I have sinned in possibly unforgivable ways.
Oh boy.
And I come to you for guidance, advice, and possibly penance. Please provide in my time of need. I, for years, have had, like, our old video game systems that we had as a kid. Like, my brother and I just kind of took a few when we moved out separately, whatever.
We're talking here like PlayStation,
yes.
Sega Genesis.
So a couple years ago, I had sold our Nintendo 64. And appreciated the nostalgia of it. Realized that the nostalgia of it was just that, and that I was never actually going to turn it on and sit and play.
Yeah.
So
there are so many different emulators that you can get now too.
Precisely.
You buy a little a USB flash drive and it has 6,000 games on it and every system you've ever imagined.
Yes. It's too easy nowadays, and I understand. Well, it's not the same. I don't care. Okay, I'm a 38-year-old man. I play video games maybe 2 hours per week at this point. I'm not cutting in time. So a couple of years ago, I sold the Nintendo 64. For some reason, at that point, I decided, well, I better hang on to this PlayStation 1.
Okay, so the original PlayStation.
Yeah, but it was like a PlayStation 1 Mini, so it was not the very first one that came out, but it was of that era.
Whatever. It was probably one that they released like 10 years after the original one came out, like a special edition. Something
maybe.
Or other. Yeah.
So I'm walking past it one day when we had sold an exercise bike and we got a walking pad for the basement. So we're moving things around in the basement. And I thought, it's time to unload this thing. So I take the drawers. I unplug the cords, take the drawers out. I got 2 memory cards, a Game Shark for cheat codes and like 10, 12 games. And I take a bunch of pictures and post it on Facebook Marketplace, Steve. And I don't do any research for this because it's a... So
mistake number 1.
Therein is my first sin in this marketplace adventure.
Okay.
And I posted for, I think, $40. And within an hour, I'm getting absolutely blown up.
Really? So at this point, you know that you have the error of your ways.
Yeah.
It's obviously priced way too low.
Way too low. Way too low. And
this is easy to resolve. Very easy to resolve.
I didn't fully grasp, because in my head I thought, okay, first full price offer, take it. Set it on the porch and I'm moving on.
It's something that's been sitting in a box or whatever, in a drawer for years, making you no money.
Yes.
Any amount of money is better than no money.
Right.
I totally get it.
Anything is more than 0, which is currently its value in my house.
And you've had to do no work
None.
to make that $40. Okay, maybe 3 minutes worth of work, taking pictures and typing out a little description.
So let me ask you what you would do as a marketplace master.
MM again.
At this point, when you realize I've underpriced this, but I've received messages, I've communicated with people about this, saying, yes, it's available, or, whatever.
Sure.
What do you do?
Well, immediately, as soon as I start seeing all the messages pouring in, I'm going to Marketplace, I'm typing in PlayStation or whatever the model is, and seeing what they're going for locally. And then maybe going to eBay or something, trying to find out what the going rate is.
Yeah. Well, because at that point, do you want to know, is it severely underpriced or slightly underpriced? Because if it's slightly underpriced, are you treating it differently than if you severely underpriced?
Yeah, because if you have it listed for 40 and have people lining up around the corner, and normally they go for 60, 40 it is.
Gone.
Take it away.
Yeah.
If you look it up and you realize, oh, these go for $300, then what I would do personally, delete that post. Don't reply to anybody. Immediately repost it with an updated price. If anybody says anything, if anyone says, hey, didn't you have this posted for $40? You do the old, whoops, yeah, sorry, I forgot a zero.
I deleted the post and I blocked everybody who messaged me.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about, man.
I came here today.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I came here today thinking I did wrong.
No. You don't know those people anything.
What finally sent me, I received probably 4 messages within an hour, all saying, I could be on the way in 3 minutes. Let me Venmo you right now to hold this. Okay. And I thought, okay. And I received one message from, at this point, I'd call just someone looking to help out.
Okay.
Said, do not sell this. That's crazy. You have like $300 plus worth of stuff right there.
Nice.
And I didn't, again.
So, again, this was the console, the cords and everything.
2 controllers, a couple of memory cards, Grand Theft Auto 1 in its case, all of these games in its case, which I didn't know.
How many games are you talking?
Probably 15.
Okay.
But all these games in their case, and some of them with their books, and I wouldn't think that's a thing that people care about or would desire, but it is.
Who knows? Yeah.
So there's like a Final Fantasy game. There's I
feel like we're living in a very nostalgic time.
It is.
And I don't know if it's always like this, and this is just for whatever reason I'm tuned into it now. But yeah, I feel like a lot of that stuff, like from the 90s and early 2000s, where it's video games or movies or toys or games or whatever, they're going for a lot. A lot of people are interested in it.
It is kind of transitioning because nostalgia for the longest time was the 80s. And that's why you see a lot of horror movies still set in the 80s. Part of it is because a lot of those, the boom of that movie era was in the 80s. But you still see that generation is now kind of running things. So they're like, oh, I love the 80s. I'm going to make movies about the 80s. But now it's slowly progressing a little bit into the 90s. And you see a lot of those early 2000s.
Yep.
So yeah, he had sent me something from like some price charting stuff. Like there's a South Park go-kart game, Steve. We played the heck out. $25. Who would pay for that? Who? What?
Wow.
For PlayStation 1.
Okay.
So
I need to know. I need to know now. Now I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you would have reached out to me beforehand.
I was so vulnerable. I still feel. I feel a little bit weird about the way I handled it, but the fact is, it was I'm never going to make this type of profit again on my PlayStation 1.
Do you know any of those people personally that messaged you?
You know what's funny? Is one was a former supervisor at one of the jobs I had.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
think he remembered me.
Okay, so he may not have even realized because you never look at the person that you're messaging. You just message them.
Yeah. And so I quickly blocked him.
It's a good man right there. Good man.
So I'm trying to find the exact what I had ended up selling it for. Sold it for $110.
Okay.
Still under what that guy estimated everything being worth.
Okay.
But I'm not going to eBay with this.
No.
I'm in a niche. I'm in a community that I need to find someone who wants a 20 to 25-year-old video game system with 20 to 25-year-old video games. Over the moon to get over $100 for it.
Is that what you had it posted for? Or
yes.
Did somebody... Okay,
yeah.
so you posted for $110. Was it still a quick sale?
Very quick. Few hours. Not as quick as the first one, but still a few hours. He said, I can grab them tomorrow. I said, great. I'm not going to hold it. Taking lessons from the MM.
There we go. There we go. Look, you know something? I'm actually going to copy and paste the message that I put at the bottom of all of my marketplace posts.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it right over to you. I mean, I'd like to think that maybe you'll consider doing something like this in the future. Yeah. I just have it saved in the little notes app on my phone. So if you want to let the people know how they have to sell things, the absolute rules of the game.
There are rules. So let me tell you where this got a little weird. Okay, this guy ended up being nice. And I know you are in the same way, outside of you being paid as is in your statement, a nominal fee for a pickup in the area. Mine was, I'm leaving this puppy on the porch, grab it and leave me alone.
Oh, that's typically what I do. Yeah.
I don't want to communicate. That's my entire
porch pickup is fantastic because if I don't have to see you, I don't have to feel bad when you lowball me and I say no.
Can we meet this coming Friday? And my reply was, I can arrange for porch pickup any of those times.
There you go.
I can set out for you whenever as I work from home. So he said, I'll be there tomorrow at 6:30. Followed up, said, yep, be there. Said, okay, gave me an update on ZTA. Perfect communication. Okay, nice man. Send him a picture of it on the porch.
Yep, you're doing everything right.
And then at 7:00, my wife says, he's sitting in his car. He didn't take it. And I get a message. Are you home?
That's when I say, yes, but working. I work from home again.
That's what I should have said. Because I ended up on the porch. Oh, no. In a 10-minute conversation about how a tiny tooth was missing from like the lid that closes. It still closes, but sometimes it closes hard. Steve, this is a long story to tell you that he tried to haggle me down $10 for this stinking clip. And I said, no, thanks. I'll simply hold on to it because like I don't need to sell it that badly.
Yeah.
And so he took it for the agreed rate anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice try. Nice try, scum.
So I had to meet up with this person. Oh. So I still feel like while I got the seal of approval from the MM on deleting the post and blocking the people who met.
That's definitely going to take your grade from an A+ down to you'll be A-.
Well, really?
A-.
I was going to accept a B or B-.
Yeah. No, I think that's acceptable because if you had negotiated down and taken $10 less.
Yeah.
C+ maybe. I mean, look, it's a fine line.
I need a crash course.
You do, but I think there's hope for you. I mean, are you going to be buying and selling pallets? By the way, update coming soon. Oh, no. I don't know. I'm not sure if you have it in you. But one-offs, I'd do business with you any day.
Yes! So, Steve, at this point, I'm passing the MMC, the Marketplace Master Course. Not in danger of failing, but I need another piece of guidance.
Well, look, I mean, it's a slippery slope. You mess up one time, all of a sudden, you're living on the streets.
There's a lot of instances in courses, high school and college, where they'll say, hey, 80% of your grade is going to be this test or this paper.
Exam, yeah.
Which, by the way, that feels like a scam.
Oh, yeah.
Because at that point, you're encouraging me to not go to 80% of those classes.
Right. Which I'm paying to be at.
Right. And just pray to God I can make it happen on this last one.
Right.
Okay. That's what you're doing by saying that, Professor. So I have another one that I don't feel was as potentially egregious as the last instance. And then, by the way, I don't want to get too far removed from you shockingly saying there might be a marketplace or a pallet update. okay, the liquidation station is apparently humming.
Still open for business.
Which
Been a slow couple of weeks, though.
As expected.
Yeah.
That's what happens. All the hot tickets are gone. Big Blue got sent off. The rug is finally gone. If you've been following any of the videos, that was the item that I really did not think would go, and it went.
It did.
But there was another item that I knew from the get-go. I thought, I might be able to put a dollar amount on this. But I not only want it gone, I need it gone.
I need to ask, have I in any way been your inspiration to the marketplace, giveaways that you've been doing recently?
No.
Okay. Thought that maybe, just maybe.
I do have to tell you, with the PlayStation, I was thinking, oh my God, I fumbled this. And if I tell Steve this, he's never going to forgive me. So I can't tell you the relief that washed over my body when you said that you would have deleted it and reposted it.
Absolutely.
Because I thought for sure you were going to say that's a big no-no. And...
Dude, let me tell you about one of my other schemes real quick.
Whoa. Hang on. If Uncle Sam's listening.
No.
It's not a scheme. By scheme, he means like a schematic he draws up for the...
Not in any way illegal or shady.
This isn't the bus lane of Marketplace.
In one of the times where I was I had like 6 things to post. I posted them all. And for some reason, you know how you can look at the analytics and it'll tell you how many people have clicked on it?
Yes.
For whatever reason, one of mine got sucked into the algorithm and it was just getting like every time I refreshed, it was like 100 more views. It went through the roof. So needless to say, what that item that I had, it sold very quickly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything, it was like a $30 thing.
Okay.
So instead of deleting that post once it was sold, I went back and edited the post to be something completely different that I also wanted to sell, thinking maybe I could keep riding the wave of this algorithm. But the problem was, even though I updated it on my end, people were still seeing the old information on their end.
Oh, no.
So for like a week after I had sold this thing, I was still getting messages. But it eventually worked out.
So you're trying to sell this food composter, and people were messaging about Big Blue Rug.
Right, exactly.
And you're like, no, this is a food composter. You can't put this in a college dorm and, lose your virginity on it.
I guess you could if you wanted to.
I guess if you like back pain. Well, in either instance, if you like back pain, you could do that with the food composter or Big Blue.
Yeah.
Whichever makes you happy. Boy, that's brilliant. I would never think of that.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I do when anything's sold or given away or I give up, I click delete and archive so I don't have to see those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So for this other instance, I needed this item gone. For the better part of probably 6 months, I decided I wanted a new set of reclining chairs in our house. Ours weren't that old, but apparently they weren't very good when we paid for them.
Okay.
And between dogs and a toddler running through them and on them and around them, they were...
Say no more.
Hated them.
We get it. It's life. Life happens.
So we'd been looking, decided to pull the trigger on some Wayfair chairs. I had reached out to a couple of people. My brother got some furniture via Wayfair.
We've gotten a couple of things from there.
And the only thing you're worried about is, well, what if you get it and it sucks, or what if it's just not comfortable, and you got to worry about getting it, whatever. But we pulled the trigger. So, what's the first question you have when you're getting a new set of chairs?
What are we going to do with the old set of chairs?
What are you going to do with these old ones? So in my head, these are power reclining with power with USB cords on the side, center. Overall, they're modern. They're not like what you see most of these giveaways of hey, come grab my 1986 recliners that are
dad's old chair.
Yes, half corduroy and sunken in that you can feel the beam on the bottom.
Right. It's actually still warm from the fart.
Yes, that's right. And it'll always let out a little bit of when you sit down.
It's always going to have a little fart poof.
I'll post out of the poll. Does every 1980s chair have a little fart poof? And I decided early on, I thought I might be able to get a few bucks for these. I don't want to. It's not worth the headache of hoping someone So then I've talked in recent years on this podcast how kind of discovering I have some underlying anxiety about things and just kind of everything. So that kicks in.
Yeah.
Because I see the Wayfair expected delivery dates. I know you were gone. It was the weekend that we had, you were going to be gone, and because we were going to be gone. So I know, we're going to be out of town. What are we going to do? I got to get these things out of the house, gone before the new ones get here. So my head's kind of spinning.
Oh yeah. I'm like that. That is very relatable. The one in, one out thing. If something new is coming, I want the old thing gone either before the new thing gets there or like within an hour.
But then you're also not worried because there's no
speaking my language.
There's no real downfall to like, oh no, we have to live one day without a set of chairs here. But it's still it's weird, right? You're like, well, if I can time this so I can get those out of the house when the new ones come in, an hour later, perfect. But I may have overreacted.
Did you light them on fire?
I posted these on Marketplace probably 8 days before I was getting the new ones.
8 days, huh?
I didn't know if they'd get chosen. And those things went a day. And I was having a second panic attack that I emailed our garbage company to ask how much a dumpster was going to cost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I thought, well, it's been 24 hours. Nobody wants these. I understand. And I laid it. The listing was very honest. Like, hey, some of the shared fabric, like there's no damage to the chairs. The recliners work, but some of the fabric is loose here. Like it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I thought nobody wants these. Understood. I'm going to have to pay to get these out of my life.
Yeah. And it's like they'll do, because we had to get rid of a couch last year and we just called the garbage company, and they were just like, yeah, it's like, it'll just be $20. We'll tack it onto your next bill. And then they came and they said, put it out on this day and we'll come pick it up.
I didn't even think about asking. I didn't get that far. I simply emailed them for the quote for the smallest size dumpster they have. And I thought, you know what? I was already thinking smallest size dumpster. I was going to text you and said, hey, might you be available this day with a chainsaw? Because I can't.
Absolutely not busy. I'm busy that day.
Because I can't use a chainsaw.
That's right. It'll mess up your ticker.
There's a chance the vibrations would make my defibrillator think that it's a heartbeat and shock me. So, because in my head, I'm like, well, I can go to the local hardware store and rent one for, 20, 30 minutes or, a 4-hour period.
Wait, were you going to use the chainsaws to cut the chairs in half?
Yep. To get them in the small dumpster.
It's amazing.
Again, I haven't even gone on vacation yet. Okay? I'm going away for like 60 hours.
At first, I thought you were thinking like, oh, maybe was he going to cut down a tree and put that in the dumpster too? No.
Slice these recliners in half and dump them in there.
Okay.
But then,
okay.
And maybe you've seen this. Maybe you can describe the phenomenon of certain things that go this way. Mm-hmm. The wave came, and I got about 15 messages from different people.
It got sucked into the algorithm.
And it was all, hey, when can I get these? When can I get these? When I get these? And I had made sure I put in the post. Earliest you can pick up is Monday night. I wasn't coming home from our little trip until, as I described it, indoor hellscape, the indoor water park, until Monday afternoon. Mm-hmm. And I would need time for me to mentally and then physically figure out how to get this 77-inch wide dual seat recliner out a door.
So that's more than a recliner. That's like,
it's
like
a love seat. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's two chairs with a center console. It's all attached.
Yeah.
So I said, the earliest you can come get it is Monday. And nobody reads that far in the post.
No. So that's why I put that at the top. Come on. What are you doing?
Just listen.
Put the important information at the top so that way when they still don't read it, it's even more frustrating.
Yeah. Your PS, Professor Steve, I just need you to take this all into consideration for the final grade. Mm-hmm. So after telling everybody, hey, can't get it till Monday, I finally find a guy who doesn't seem like he's in his 60s and seems like read the post and is messaging me back. Mm-hmm. That's what I appreciate. If we're in a communication, I don't want to wait 13 hours for a response. And then when I tell you, sorry, it's gone, you can't get mad saying, well, I messaged before that guy because I'm sorry you didn't answer. So this guy's answering me. I say, hey, Monday night or Tuesday morning, whatever you prefer, but that's the best case. Great. And again, showed him the post. And I said, yep, I said, I don't think it comes apart. So I'll have it outside for you. That's my goal. I don't want him in the house, 2 dogs, kid, smacking doors, windows, whatever. And again, I don't even know how I'm going to get this thing out.
No one will ever come in my house.
So Monday comes around. Guy still says he wants to come get it. Beautiful. So Katie and I take a stab at it, and it doesn't go well because it's big and they're gliding.
Yep.
So anytime you pick it up, the chair goes thunk, thunk, one direction, and if you tip it, it goes the other direction. Yeah. So I called my friend who lives a couple houses down over to help. We take it out the back slider, a little wiggling, a little pushing, a little shoving, a little cracking.
Yeah.
Got it out, took it out my gate, and left it in the driveway. Snapped a picture, sent it to him, said, hey, man, there you go. Said,
enjoy.
I said, just so you know, it's heavy and it's a glider. So like, I hope you make sure you have the manpower.
Yeah.
Because as I wrote in the post, you're picking up.
I will not help load.
Exactly.
Love it. Love it.
And he said, oh, it's just me. Can you help me get it in my truck? What do you do at that point? Because if you have the guy, he said he's on his way. Like he said, I'll be there in 40 minutes. And I said, or he said, I'll be there in 40 minutes. He's the only one I communicated with in about 4 days about this item.
Yeah.
What do you do when he made the mistake, but now you're kind of sitting there like the Lucky Billy mascot,
right?
With your hands shrugged. Yeah. And you're now the goof.
If I know for a fact he's on his way and that he has a truck and that he's not showing up like wreck in his Lincoln Town car, I'm going to say, let me know when you're 5 minutes out. I'm going to meet him out in the driveway. Both of us will pick up one end, put it on the tailgate, pick up the other end, zoop, right into the truck. And that's it. That is the extent of me helping. I'm not going to be there saying like, hey, don't forget to strap it down or don't forget to da-da-da-da-da. I'm helping him. If it gets it out of my way, I'm helping him.
Not planning on being here. You'll have to figure it out.
I respect it.
We closed the blinds. Waited for the sound of the truck to be gone.
Did you at least peek out to see how
Nope.
I respect it.
He said, not planning on being here. Have to run to the grocery store, and I have to pick up my dogs. I didn't have to do anything. He said, no problem. Will I be able to back up to it? Send him a picture again. Lined up the long way.
Mm-hmm.
So all he has to do is back the truck up in the driveway. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'll leave it to you to let me know if you think you can get it. He said, I'll be good. I did not cave. I did not have a 15-minute conversation with this weirdo about a PlayStation 1, about a lid being closing hard. But all things considered, I'd like your overall grade.
Okay.
As I venture into the void.
Oh, I mean, with that one, A+, absolute A+.
I was a little worried. I thought maybe I posted it too early. Did I overreact? No. Should I try to get $20 just to make sure I didn't get a scumbag?
I mean, look, I'm always trying to get a little cash out of somebody when I'm posting my garbage on Marketplace.
For sure.
But you know, the goal there was you needed to get rid of them by a certain time. You got rid of them by that certain time. It wasn't too difficult for you. A little bit of anguish,
right?
Little anxiety, but ultimately, no. I'm giving you an A. A, not A+.
Yes!
Now, if you've gotten $20-$30 for them, I mean, come on.
If I got $20-$30, I'm skipping the final exam, and that Professor Steve can take that 80% of the final grade and shove it. Because as we all know, Steve's policy: No holds without payment in advance.
That's right.
Message me for porch pickup address. Cash, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Apple Pay accepted. Wide variety. Love it.
Yeah.
You thought about adding Zelle?
No, I have no need for it. It hasn't been an issue yet.
I can possibly arrange for a meetup in downtown Grand Rapids before 12 noon, Monday through Friday, for a small fee.
That's right.
Zipped up.
Yep.
Tight.
Mm-hmm.
People know. Now, have you had anybody who, when you've gotten to the sale part...
Two meetups.
Oh, so you've gotten meetups, but have you had anybody still... I'm assuming you still get a bundle of messages. Hey, can you hold this until Thursday?
Not so much, but I'm always very clear. If it's a Sunday and someone says they can pick it up on Thursday, I tell them, okay, message me Thursday and I'll let you know if it's still available.
Boy, I wouldn't even think to say that because I never know how to respond to that. Can I pick up Thursday? I never know what to say.
Yeah, just say, that works for me as long as it's still available. Confirm with me that morning.
I'm writing this down. Hang on. I'm going to get my spiral notebook out.
Yeah.
My number 2 Ticonderoga.
Yep.
And write this note down from Professor Steve. Because you're in the thick of it, and we haven't updated in a while, so you said you had an update. And
lot going on.
And this is okay, because I want to get an update today, because next week I need to ask you, we're well in the throes of springtime here, and when we checked in last winter, you had, I wouldn't say a litany of projects, but the projects you had for this spring and summer were large form.
They were aggressive.
Not like, obviously warehouse was a large project.
Yep. 2023 was a busy year.
And Clear the Trees, was that the same year or was that the year before?
I don't know. I don't really remember. Last year it was electrical
and
to the warehouse. Govies, yeah, of course.
But so next week I need to pick your brain a little bit because I don't know if it's my spot to say, but just you and I here.
Yeah, just us.
I feel like you're in the bed a little bit early on. And I say that with quite literally zero knowledge of what you've been doing behind the scenes. So next week,
okay,
we
need an update.
We need an update on sunroom teardown.
Yep,
and siding project 2025 because I need to get stakes in place for the siding project 2025 that we had kind of teased last fall.
Yeah, there something about how I couldn't brush my teeth until it was done or something.
Yeah, I was like, no showers for 6 months or something like that.
Seems. I don't really remember agreeing to that, but I mean, if I did, then
no, it was written in blood somewhere. That's in a contract. It has something to do with your hair and facial hair.
Okay.
And we'll have to
because of course it does.
Yeah, we'll have to hone in on the details because if I remember it, you thought your wife, if you had to start this clean shaven, Annette would hate it because she hasn't seen you clean shaven for any period of a long time.
How I am now is about as close as I've been to clean shaven.
Yeah.
I got basically a little more than stubble.
But she equally hated you with Cooper hair, and that was 7 years ago.
I don't know how I've managed to thread this needle where she tolerates me.
Well, good news, because next week we're going to come to a firm agreement on the stakes where we're not threading any needle, and we're going to be bastardizing your facial hair and your head hair in equal amounts until you can get the siding project done.
Until I can complete residing an entire house on my own.
Well, we're going to make it reasonable. Okay?
Of course.
We'll do that next week. But we've gone too long without getting an update. And boy, I do feel like we need music. Some type of music when we get to the liquidation station discussion because it's been a while. And we're at what I hate to say I kind of accurately predicted this. But I don't think you didn't think this was coming. It's a bit of a lull.
We are, yeah. We're in the lull. We're in the downtime, the calm after the storm.
It's been probably 3 weeks since we updated, or 4 weeks maybe. And when we last talked, it would be you can check the most recent update. It would be in our Facebook Instagram and Twitter, and also we're on Blue Sky now at Steve and Kyle. For that video of when we did the most recent walk through the liquidation station, you had estimated you were probably at, did you say 50 items you thought?
Yeah, and I can actually pull up my marketplace right now and let you know how many items I have remaining.
Now, your marketplace itself will have the items from the Comanche spreadsheet or the Jeep spreadsheet, as well as the, what was the third spreadsheet?
Just the non-pallet items, just regular household items that we're getting rid of.
The kids' items, the whatever else you see that you're moving on from. So just pallet items a month ago, you were at 50-ish.
Yeah.
What do you think you've sold off of that in the last 3 to 4 weeks?
I can tell you exactly because I have the spreadsheet pulled up now. Again, it's been
burgeoning spreadsheet.
It's been slow. Let's see. So I don't know. Pick a date. Let's say since 3/17.
That's a fair estimate.
I've sold from the pallet 13 items.
Okay, listen, more than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, when we first posted all of the stuff from the pallet, again, my wife and I bought a liquidation pallet, a return pallet, and had about probably 100 to 115 items total. And we have posted them all and are slowly selling them off. But I mean, for the first 2 days that it was posted, that all these things were posted, nonstop messages. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have 15 messages to reply to.
And that's a mix of quantity and of the higher desired items off of that pallet being right at the start, which that's to be expected. So you got that rush though, right?
Yeah.
And I think it took us, in the third week of this, or the second week even, you had said you were officially in the green.
Yeah, we have currently we have sold 70 items from the pallet. So we got about
30 to 40,
maybe 25. I think there's about 25 or 30 left. And the pallet, I've been full disclosure. The pallet cost us $715.50.
Yep.
And so until we make back $715.50, we're in the red.
Yep.
We are now in the green. I will hold it up and let you look at the perfectly tabulated results, thanks to some great formulas.
You doing formulas, macros? Are you connecting cells and stuff? Hot dog. That's impressive.
Go ahead,
Steve. You have profited $654.50.
Damn right I have.
That is almost
the
cost of pallet number 2 with 13 items to go.
So basically, we've made $1,400 in sales, roughly.
Correct. Now, you have one big ticket left, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Or did that? Okay. And that's the one you're struggling to figure out what to do with. You don't want to price it too. You don't want a Kyle PlayStation 1 situation.
No.
But you also don't want the fear of Kyle's reclining chairs, which is that you're holding on to it for a decade.
Yeah.
So you're still holding on to a couple $100 food composter.
It's a countertop food composter. I'm going to pull it up right now. Let's see.
And I know you're hoping to avoid this while you pull it up.
Yeah, I got it right here.
I know you're hoping to avoid it. Have you thought about going alternate routes with it? You thought about going to the eBay?
No.
Not going to do it.
I instantly lose like 35%.
You do, but you might sell it. Which, I'm not saying you won't sell this eventually, but at this point you're at month 2 or month 2.5 of carryover. Which is not, you're in the green, so it's not like doesn't have a carrying cost. right? You're not paying a mortgage on it. But at some point, I wonder if you hit frustration level red.
Well,
and you say, I've got to get rid of this thing, and I don't know how.
Maybe you can help me out right now, because I got electric food composter disposer for kitchen. Okay. Let me pull this up.
Google what a food composter does. Oh, of course.
Electric food waste composter disposer for kitchen countertop. This came in an open box and looks new, but cannot confirm 100% that it was not used before. Inside is spotless. Outside has some scuffs, as you can see in the pictures, but it looks like it was from poor packaging. Originally a $500 item from Walmart. And in the video, you see it turn on. You see the lights light up. You see, it doing its thing.
Yeah. I know you're an analytics guy, so you've been looking at how many clicks. You talked about it earlier, how many clicks things have gotten.
31 clicks.
It's not enough.
Not a lot.
That is not enough.
I have it at $200.
Okay. I just Googled electric food composter, so I don't know the size of this one.
This looks like the company is Airmsen.
Airmsen. Okay.
Airmsen. It's a big white cube.
Okay. Boy, yeah. I mean, there's one on their website, $449.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a 4 liter.
Let me see.
And let me tell you what it's going for on Amazon right now, Steve.
What do you got?
Do you want to know this, or do you want?
Yeah, give it to me.
It's a big gray cube. It's a 3 horsepower rapid composting, 320-degree drying, built-in serrated blade, 2 odorless filters, 4 liter electric composter for the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
$169.
Ooh, $169. All right. I'm updating it right now. I'm lowering it to $150.
Hoping to get rid of it. See, here's what I want to ask you, because now Facebook Marketplace will show that you've slashed that price.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's a positive? Or do you think you should make a whole new post with the same details and a new price, just so it looks like a new listing and doesn't show people that they think, well, this guy overpriced it, whatever, and also this listing is, 60 days old or 50 days old.
See, because when you renew posts, it just shows that this was just posted 23 hours ago.
Okay.
So, Kyle, have I asked you?
How low would you go?
Have I asked you recently? Say when you're cooking at your house and you got some leftover peppers.
Yeah, they're just sitting in my hands.
Maybe a banana peel.
Yeah, like an idiot, because I'm making pepper banana bread, and so all I've got is these pepper shells and peels. It's like a Mario Kart game.
What do you do with those peppers and those banana peels?
Whip them over my head.
Oh,
and then I slip on them when I walk around later.
I didn't realize you were a complete moron. That's some Bobcat stuff right there. Can I interest you in an electric food composter disposer for your kitchen countertop? I know I have it listed at $150, but for you, buddy,
like today only,
I'll do $146.
What? Whoa! That's damn near 2.5% off.
What? Eyes on springs.
I think I think you're on the right track. I think we fixed the problem with the big ticket. That's gonna that's gonna put you over. I think eventually, I think you end up out the door with 110, maybe 115 on that.
I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled with that.
And that puts you over the edge for the official cost of Pallet 2.0. But you teased earlier that you had an update. Were the sales the update, or has there been some Savannah, Georgia marital bed discussion about step 2 in the liquidation station?
As you've seen in the past, here, let me pull up my spreadsheet once again. Look at that, still open. What's that column all the way on the right say?
Pallet, and then it's got a number below it.
Yeah,
and it'll have the list.
So far, everything in there.
Pallet 1, man.
Everything in there has been pallet 1.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, "Boy, I like the sign of that there's a pallet number column."
Well, you're a planning man, you're PM, and so you knew that eventually you didn't want to be caught with the pants around your ankles.
No,
in this regard,
no.
And you're sitting there with a spreadsheet with no numbered pallets.
Yeah,
because if you're caught with your pants around your ankles with numbered pallets, you're an absolute amateur.
Mm-hmm.
So that column still says pallet 1.
Yeah,
which means there's no pallet 2.
By the time this podcast comes out, there will be a pallet 2.
There will be a pallet 2?
There will be a pallet 2 on Monday or Tuesday.
Can you give me a heads up?
Yeah, you want to come?
I at least want to be here. for when you
when we pull in the driveway.
Yeah, and I want if you can clear it with a net, I want you and I like a couple of rabid dogs ripping through this thing like a raccoon in a trash can,
looking for all the treasures.
And we're looking for anything that seems good, and we'll have either she can video it or I'm off Monday, Tuesday, so I might be interested in maybe a little trip this week because I'm kind of interested.
Okay,
now it sounds like I'm too late on the angel investor plot for Pallet 2.0.
I'd have to talk to my business partner, otherwise known as my wife.
And by business,
okay,
and
hold
I'm
on,
assuming
hold
you're the
on,
minority partner. Right?
Hold on.
Yeah.
How about this? You come down there with us. I believe that the ship has sailed on angel investment in pallet number 2.
You know, a lot of people would like that track record before they would angel invest. I'm not a smart investor. I was looking to jump in early.
How about, can I interest you in spending $40 on an Amazon mystery box?
Yes. It's done. Just one, or can we do like 2 or 3?
Oh, you can do 2 or 3.
Okay.
Just make sure that you are fully aware
it's crap.
That you could end up
losing $40
with 58 pairs of eclipse glasses now approximately 1 year after the total eclipse.
Well, do you want to know the fun fact about that, Steve? Is that it's not, I'm not going to be out $40. We're going to be out $40 because we're going to empty our slush fund on Amazon mystery boxes.
I love it. You're coming with us?
I think
you're buying mystery boxes?
The reason I'm off Monday, Tuesday is I have a funeral tomorrow. Monday.
Terribly sorry to hear that.
But so if it depends on the time tomorrow. So if it's tomorrow, probably not. But please do not adjust a single item of your schedule. If you're going to go, I still want to make it. If I can't go tomorrow, I would still like to be able to be here when you arrive or when you're unpacking. Right. And I would still be happy to pay so we can get, while you're there, hey, Johnny, while you're bringing that pallet out to the truck, you're going to have to borrow again, right? Yes. The man has owned 30 trucks in his life, borrowing a truck. I've never been more happy.
I have a truck. I have my own.
It's exquisite. You bought a truck, your dream truck. Not like what dream truck being like, a 2025 thing with 12 Vs and whatever. No, you bought your dream truck for reasons like this when you need to commute big items.
And I can't do it.
You can't do it. And you also haven't gone vroom vroom down the sand hill. I love it. Mystery boxes, pallet 2.0.
All right, now I need your I need your word that you will help sell stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Of course. Right. Look for that video.
We're gonna bring them down here. We're gonna unbox them here. This is gonna be completely different than Steve and Annette's pallet liquidation station.
Yeah.
I mean, well, of course we're gonna have a spreadsheet for it.
That's right. Stay tuned. Oof. Next week. I already don't. We might have to record a 2.5-hour one next week because
just us opening
boxes, and we've got to get an update on Steve's spring projects.
Yeah,
we've got a lot going on. I need to know if we might have Easter plans, Easter discussion. We might have to get our friend of the show, Jewish correspondent Brian Krause, on as it's Rosh Hashanah.
No, it is Yom Kippur.
Ram Springer coming up. We might have to talk to him coming up. There's so much to do next week.
Yeah.
That we might have to marathon it.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be exciting. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky.
That's right.
Because we've gone full libtard. Right?
That's right. Yeah, there is additional content on all the social medias every week. We've been trying to post either a short video of one of my jerseys I'm wearing that week, the liquidation station.
We can stop by the liquidation station if you want.
Right.
I mean, just you're going to be shocked at how much room there is in there.
Empty, ready for pallet 2.0.
All right, talk to you next week.